Hey, Big Love fam. Welcome to SuperFreq. This is a high vibe podcast, y'all, exploring all things frequencies, how they govern, form, shape our realities, and are the key to living from your full potential. It's non-woo convos about super woo shit, unpacking what I call the science of self, from body and soul literacy to the power of understanding vibration, higher consciousness, quantum physics, and spiritual psych. Let this podcast become a resource for you on your journey to self-mastery. If you're curious and ready to free your mind, unlock the body, and truly become limitless, then you're in the right place. I'm your host, Talie. This is SuperFreq, awakening for the next gen. Let's go. All right, everybody. For this week's episode, we're pulling back the curtain on the Trust and Surrender with Time Awakening series, which was very powerful and very potent based on everybody's feedback. I never know what I'm going to be kind of teaching or how the sessions are going to go until I'm in them. And this one was particularly powerful. So the first call is usually a deeper clearing. The second one is a continuation of that. And then by the third time, the third call in these series is usually pretty powerful activation. So I'm going to be showcasing several different clips because it was such a powerful invitation for people to expand their awareness on what trust and surrender is. And particularly with the third call where I really break down how to collapse timelines and how to actually manipulate the structure of time using a very specific sequence. So without further ado, let's get into this first clip. So when you see people out of time all the time, it's just kind of chaos. They don't know how to be anywhere, like kind of on time. Or they're very distorted with time, or they're constantly confused by it. Their nervous system is conditioned to be pushed out of time, where chaos becomes a normal state and stability and being in the body is very foreign. The ego doesn't know what to do with that. The nervous system doesn't know what to do with that. And then it will create simulations to kick itself out of time. On my end, casting that bandwidth frequencies while you all find your kind of resonant harmonic. It's really a mainframe. It's like a database that everybody is kind of joining into, coming online to experience and expand, learn new things, push your consciousness into different IP addresses or areas within the network. As you all start to kind of sing the same tune, if you will, what emerges, you kind of all come together. So you're in your individual, imagine there's all individual iPads all connected to a big database operating system. Your highest selves are using my framework, my software, essentially. We're basically writing as we go, creating this body of knowledge, amplifying on this body of knowledge. And then that body of knowledge is shared intergalactically with highest and greatest good intent. This is a really important class that you are a part of. Not only are you present to experience it, but it ripples into the all that is, giving other people an opportunity to experience what it's like to be in time and have these new mechanics around space-time and how to create yourself in a particular moment, in a particular dimension. So when you awaken, as you clear patterns, literally your body changes. You actually are holding the codes of your original blueprint, quote unquote, avatar. But when you're unawakened, that consciousness is going to project itself through filters that are being created in conjunction with the DNA and then running you through all those distortions to project you here. So that's how we become the latest rendition of our family lineage, right? Where literally you look like Aunt Sally, right? Or so-and-so looks just like, said ex-cousin. You just literally you're recycling a very limited baseline of knowledge within your generational gene pool. Again, as you awaken, because you see yourself very differently, You're projecting your own rendering a lot clearer. Time distortion from siphoning my power from the paternal line or the P line. Time distortion from M line not wanting me to have my power, or gaslighting from a partner, on and on and on. Self-sabotaging, time distortion through self-sabotage, time distortion with lack of identity, access to self-identity, time distortion related to distorted self-concept, et cetera, et cetera. So you have the reality that you're constantly already out of time, right? Or you have an issue with it, or you're constantly late, or whatever else. If that distortion has already been created, this is a better way to say it. If that distortion has already been created, if there's already a crack, okay, in the framework, then ADD and DID and ADHD, et cetera, can function. That possibility is available because that crack is available. So the chemical inefficiencies or deficiencies become a symptom of the time distortion. Body reacts chemically because of the quantum malfunction. It's the best way I can describe that. I don't know if that makes sense. But so, for example, that crack can happen from trauma, okay? That split, that crack in your own timeline, in your own framework from an internal traumatized event, okay? Your body has registered something as trauma. You're not safe in it. You're not safe in the brain. It is not safe for you to exist here. This is a birth of a sibling. This is physical abuse, emotional abuse. This is something physical that happened to you. It is the death of a loved one, etc. A move, something typically that happened within the first 8 physical years of your embodiment here, from utero to the first 8. Critical downloading of code timeline, everything, research, session data, overwhelmingly, first 8 years, boom. Those first 8 years absolutely dictate the next 8. And then by the time you're 13, hard-coded. By the time you're 25, hard-coded, done. Who you're going to be is set. That's why kids change so fast. So when I was young, all kinds of tests done on me. I didn't know what the hell was going on. Everything was inconclusive. I would kind of look and stare. I would talk very directly to whoever was testing me. And then I would stare off to the side, kind of lose track a little. I didn't know that then, but it was revealed to me much later that I was reading patterns. So if you ever have a session with me or you look at me on screen, I'm usually looking off to the side or off to one side or the other side, or I'm staring through you, looking at the information around you that's creating you, to sort out the incongruencies and pull in the accurate code, override that code, original blueprint code override, what's getting you back to source, that kind of thing. But ADHD, ADD, couldn't sit still, hated it. What the fuck, where am I? This is awful. But trauma will do that. And it actually doesn't take much for a child to feel unsafe. All right, let's go to the center of the brain.
Thanks so much for listening, you guys. Please make sure to leave a review and follow the fun on social media, because that's how it works in this world. In the meantime, get your freak on. I'll see you in the next session.